Should I 27M pay for my girlfriend's dog's surgery? 26F. So I have a predicament and decided to create an account and ask for some help. Hi, also a quick backstory. I met my girlfriend 2 years ago and we've really hit things off fantastically. We have the same hobbies and love spending time together. I would even say our relationship is perfect if not for one problem, a very big problem: her dog. She has a 3-year-old pit bull mix which is a complete failure. The dog has some sort of reactivity and anytime a stranger comes close to it, it starts to bark like crazy. It's been to my house a few times and shits and pees all over the place to the point I have stopped entertaining her and the dog. It also stinks, like the moment it enters my house it smells like shit. Just knowing I have to meet the dog puts me in a foul mood and I really don't appreciate it trying to lick and hump me. So anyway, yesterday her dog broke its leg and hip when it fell into a sinkhole. Right now the dog is stable but an immediate surgery is required which would cost anywhere between $3K $6K, possibly even more if she takes it for hydrotherapy. Well, you would think this wouldn't be my problem since it isn't my dog. But my girlfriend is terrible with money. She has a degree in anthropology but works as a barista living paycheck by paycheck. She also have loads of student loans. I on the other hand am wise with my money and have a very good paying job and no debt. I could easily afford the treatment without thinking twice, but I really don't want to put up with the dog afterwards. So should I pay for the dog or not? Did she ask for you to pay? I personally would let her make a plan herself. Offer your help without offering your money right away. She asked me to pay. No. She should pay for it on her credit card. She should be a responsible adult. She shouldn't have a pet if she cannot be responsible. Taking care of pets correctly costs money. People say that like a barista has a blank card just chillin' with 6 large on it. I really doubt she has any ability to cover the cost. But I think you avoid covering this to the point of breakup. Doesn't sound like a situation you want to get into. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Don't do it, you'll be bailing her out of many other problems after this, trust me. My boyfriend broke up with me the day my mother died. I want to be able to understand how somebody could do this. My mother went into hospital for a routine operation last week. However, when she came round for the operation we discovered that she had a stroke. Over the course of the week things got gradually worse and unfortunately we lost her a week later. Throughout the week I was obviously worried about my mum and leaned on my boyfriend for support. He kept saying he didn't know what to say and felt useless in the situation. On the day she died I got a call from my dad explaining that we would probably lose her later that day. I was at work at the time, away from home staying in a hotel, and called my boyfriend in my break. His reaction was underwhelming and he tried to change the subject to asking me how my day working was. This upset me as I didn't feel any empathy from him, so I ended the call. I didn't hear from him for the rest of the day till he texted me saying he thought it would be best for everybody involved if I had some time to myself. I then asked what he meant and he said he will support me as a friend, but that's it. I then asked if he was breaking up with me and he replied, yeah, like I said, I'll be there as a friend. I asked him if he had been feeling this for a long time, just the week before we were making plans to move abroad, and he was telling me how much he loved me, and he replied no just recently, and that is the last I have heard from him. My mother died that evening and I am struggling to come to terms with it. I live in a house with girls who aren't massively supportive and I don't have a particularly strong relationship with my dad. I really thought I'd have my ex to lean on during this difficult time. I'm now struggling with the loss of my mother and my relationship and I don't know what to do. Does anybody have any insight as to why somebody could behave like this when something so devastating happens to their partner? And any tips on how to cope? I am so sorry for your loss. To answer your question, sigh, TBH, some people just can't. And it's selfish and deeply hurtful. We lost our son and some people, super close, just vanished. Like we had the disease. There is absolutely nothing like grief to show you who will step up and stay, and honestly, it's really lonely. Our society is deeply uncomfortable with grief. despite the fact that we all must face it and walk through it someday. I'm going to give you some of the professional advice we were given, in hopes that it slowly helps you. Just do one thing at a time. Don't look too far ahead right now. Some days it might be a moment-to-moment one thing. It's okay. Be gentle with yourself. It will come in waves. Just one step at a time. That's all you have to do. One breath at a time. That's it. Some people just can't handle real life. They're incapable of being supportive when anything goes wrong beyond a flat tire. Your ex is definitely one of those people. He's not ready to be an adult relationship. He just wants to pretend that he is. Be glad you found out now before you were married, had kids and a mortgage. Imagine him trying to cope with seriously ill child. He would just leave and let you deal with it. He sounds like he's really immature. When the chips were on the table and he had to deal with an actual, serious situation, and it was not just the fun side of the relationship, he balked and walked away. I'm guessing because he is too emotionally immature to have the slightest clue how to handle a situation like this and decided it was easier to just not deal with it at all. He isn't ready for an actual relationship. If he isn't a complete monster, I'm guessing years from now he will look back on this and feel like crap for dumping a girl the day her mother died. Frankly, I hope his friends give him crap for it. He deserves it. And also, I'm sorry, both for your loss and for how he treated you. I'm so sorry you're going through so much all at once. I had a similar situation when my dad passed away and my boyfriend broke up with me shortly after. I moved in with him temporarily so that I could quit my job to be with my dad during his last days. So that meant I had to grieve, pack up, find a new apartment, and move out all at once. I had a hard time grappling with the betrayal of my ex, and of life itself. It was a very dark time. Honestly, thinking about my ex wasn't productive. My feelings of betrayal couldn't be rationalized. People act in self-interest more often than not. As time goes on, you either forgive them, or you forget them. You live and grow stronger from these experiences. You learn to lean on your friends. You might even start feeling like your friends are chosen family. You get therapy and work on yourself. You get a harshly earned but valuable perspective on the delicate and fickle nature of life. One day you'll look back at this point in your life and think, that was hard but I fucking did it. Hang in there. You'll be okay. So sorry you went through all of that. Glad you are doing well now. Oh my god, I am so sorry this happened to you. I'm so sorry for the loss of your mom. How old is he? He is immature, unable to handle life's challenges. Shouldn't be in a relationship. In other words, he is a pussy. You don't deserve a coward. He owes you a serious apology. Thank you. He is 25, a few years younger than me that I was worried about anyway. He hasn't contacted me at all since, so I don't imagine I will get an apology. To be honest, I guess time will just make coming to terms with how somebody can be so callous possible. I, 31F, just came out to my mom and it didn't go well. Being closeted for so long has been eating away at me. I feel like it's prevented me from having meaningful relationships my whole life. I've known that I am gay since I was 14 years old, but never fully come out to anyone except very close friends. My parents are the religious conservative type. So today I just decided fuck it, and while we were having our morning coffee I told her that there was something that I've been wanting to tell her for a while, and she freaked out asking what, and I just said I'm lesbian. She then started asking me all sorts of personal questions like how many women I'd been with, what kinds, etc., and then concluded by saying that well, it sounds like you've never tried to be with a man, so how can you know? Like WTF. It's really awkward here now. I'm supposed to stay here the next 10 days while my stepdad is out of town because she can't drive and shit. But there's this super weird tension. Any advice how to get through the next 10 days? Has your mother been with a woman? How would she know she isn't attracted to them if she never has? Exactly. I'd be like, how can you be sure you're straight if you've never fucked a woman? So hypocritical. deep breaths. You already did the hard part. Just answer any questions she has thoughtfully and try not to get defensive when she says the wrong thing. She'll say a lot of wrong things and she'll make you feel shitty. She's going to be going through a serious mind shift for a while, and it's going to take time. I know it doesn't feel good right now, but you did a really hard thing and you deserve love and respect, and all I can say is congratulations! Exclamation mark. Why do I feel so shitty if it was the right thing to do? Even said to her that obviously today wasn't the right day. Firstly, well done for coming out. That must have been a huge thing for you. I'm sorry to hear that your mother hasn't been very receptive of it. It might be worth going back to her for another conversation and saying that coming out to her was a big thing to do, and that your sex/love life isn't something she needs to ask about. What you need from her right now is to know that you have her support and her love. If she continues with the line of not having tried men etc., reiterate how hurtful that is and how dismissive of your feelings it is. I really hope she comes around, but if she doesn't, it's important to reach out to your friends, other family, and maybe get some therapy. All the best. Thank you so much. I'm honestly so embarrassed with how the last conversation went. I'm not ready to start another one about it at this time, but when it comes up however soon, that's definitely probably the best approach. I'm sorry she didn't take it well. I would think that she would have already known without you telling her outright. I think I would have had to ask her if she had ever been with a woman, and when she said no, you could ask her how does she know she is heterosexual if she has never been with a woman. It might not be received well, but she was kinda dumb to suggest that you wouldn't know. That definitely would have been a good counter question. I was just so shocked, still am, by her reaction that of course I didn't think of it at the time. Good for you for telling your mom. I'm sure it wasn't easy, but you definitely had to do this. I'm sending you some mom hugs. Hope your mom will get over her shock and you'll be able to move on. As a parent, I can tell you that your mom probably knew already, deep down. If she is religious, then she might not have accepted it, but she had to have known. Your mom needs to remember that you are the same person you've always been. This / isn't a new issue, it's something that's been a part of who you are all your life.